everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Jasmine. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, y'all. Subscribe to my channel because I will be posting a lot of content for you guys, and I'm pretty sure you don't want to miss out on all of this freaking tea, okay? So like, comment, and subscribe, y'all. I can't stress this enough. Subscribe, okay? And a quick disclaimer, I would like to say, oh my goodness. Oh my god, y'all, embarrassing. My cat always embarrassing me. But all of my story times happened about 8 years ago. So I thought, what of a good way to start a YouTube channel than with story times, okay, y'all? So with that being said, we about to get straight to this video, period. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna give y'all like a little backstory about him so you kind of understand like what type of role he played in my life. So I graduated like straight out of high school and I ended up going to Kennedy King College. Now, I didn't know what I wanted to be then. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna take all of my basic classes or whatever just to get me started and just for me to feel like I am doing something with my life. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do that. So in one of those classes, that's when I met him, which was my English class. And he ended up walking in the classroom or whatever. And it was like literally a million seats, but he came and sat in front of me, y'all. Like literally, I'm right here and the seat is like right here. So he sat right here in front of me. So I'm like, okay, like, and right off the bat, when I noticed him, I'm like, okay, he's cute or whatever. And I wasn't kind of the type to like date in high school just because I didn't want people to know my business. So I'm like, y'all know how it is like in high school and college. Like you don't even have to know the person in order to like know their business. So I just didn't want to be that type of girl basically. So when I met him, that's when things changed or whatever. I end up to turn in my paperwork. So I had to turn in my paperwork, and I noticed every time like I used to get up and then come back around, like he used to always stare at me. So I'm like, okay, I think this man liked me or whatever. And I did honestly like him back, but like I said, I wasn't sure. But like I said, when I did met him, things changed. So yeah. So yeah, I used to get up back and forth to turn in my paperwork, and I used to always notice him staring at me. So a couple of days passed. So now it's like, it's at the point where he like turning around in his seat and like asking me questions like about the homework or whatever. And I knew that he wasn't interested in the homework because nobody was interested in the homework. And then in our class, I don't think nobody was really doing the homework like that. So yeah, so I knew he was trying to start conversation or whatever. So a couple of days had passed, and that's when he ended up asking for my number and my name and my number or whatever. So I ended up telling my name, I gave him my number or whatever, and things took off from there. And I ended up being in a relationship with this guy, y'all. I was in a whole relationship with this guy, and I was talking to him for like a whole entire year. Was in a relationship with him for a whole entire year, and I ended up breaking up with him like at the end of that year. So I was in a relationship with him for the whole entire year, and then at December, like the end of that year, that's when I ended up breaking up with him, y'all. Like, oh my freaking god, it was a lot. So just to fast forward, I ended up getting back in contact with this dude, and he ended up reaching out to me. Now it's been rocky when I was talking to him, because I'll talk to him for like 6-7 months straight, and then we'll end up stop talking for like 3 months, and then we'll just start. It was just like an on and off thing. Yeah, so when I started back talking to him and linking up with him, he wanted to like borrow money from me. So we both had a relationship where we were like borrowing money from each other, and we would like pay each other back. And I'll ask him for the money, and sometimes he'll let me have it, or like sometimes I'll end up paying him back. Like it used to be back and forth with us, so vice versa. One day I was in the neighborhood and I called him like, oh, I'm in the neighborhood or whatever, like I could just drop you off the money or whatever, like I could drop you off the money, this and that. He was like, no, I'm at my cousin's house or whatever. Now prior to that, I ended up leaving out the park, but prior to that, he did ask me to come to his house in the morning time, and I told him no. I think I had to work or something. So yeah, and then I ended up being in the neighborhood, and then I ended up calling him like, yeah, I have the money for you. Like, I'm in the neighborhood. Like, you could just open up the door. I could give it to you. Because I saw his truck outside, y'all. His truck was outside. So I'm like, okay, he got to be home. So when I called him, he was at his cousin's house. Like, yeah, I'm at my cousin's house cutting hair. Now, he do cut hair on the side, y'all. Hold on. He do cut hair, like, on the side. So I kind of believe him, but I kind of didn't because his truck was there. So I'm like, okay, so something told me like, Jasmine, stay in the car for just give it about 2 more minutes just to stay in the car. So I stayed in the car for 2 minutes and a car pulled up in front of me. So I'm like, now, because I talked to this man, I knew every car on his block. Like, y'all know when y'all see y'all boo or whatever, like, y'all know what car is on the block or whatever. Like, y'all know every car that go up and down the freaking street. Like, y'all know everything. Like, so I end up seeing the car drove in front of me. And I'm like, who is this? Because I never seen this car before. So she ended up getting, like, her daughter out the seat. So I'm like, okay, who is this? So she started walking to the gate. So I'm literally walking behind her because at this point, you're going the same way that I was supposed to be going. So I was trying to figure this out. He stayed like in a flat top building, and like his neighbor was like on the first floor and he was on the second floor. But his neighbor is literally like married. He has kids or whatever. Like, he's the older guy. So I knew right off back, like, the girl was not for him, like, at all. So she was going up the same stairs. I mean, she was going up the steps, and then she had to enter the door. So it's like the main door. Like, once you get past the gate and you get to like the main door, then it's like another door so you be able to go up the steps to his house. So I'm really following behind her or whatever, and she's holding the door for me, y'all. She did not question who I was or whatever. And I started to kind of question her, but I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna wait till I get upstairs to try to figure this whole thing out. So we end up going up the steps. So I'm literally calling him back. So I'm like, yeah, where you say you at? Like, I'm literally pretending like I'm not there. So I'm like, and I put him on speakerphone too. So I'm like, yo, where you at or whatever? Like, where you say you at again? He's like, my cousin's house. So she literally kept turning back, y'all. Like, she kept turning back because she was like kind of confused or whatever. So I'm like, how? How are you at your cousin's house or whatever? You have like a guest. Like, I was just so freaking confused. Like, what? Even answer the door, y'all. So me and her, we literally standing not outside, but in the hallway for 5 minutes. He opened up the door. How could you not? Like, we was literally outside in that hallway for 5 fucking minutes. Y'all, I'm drinking this freaking liquor and this got me lit already. But I ended up standing outside for like, not outside, but y'all know, in the hallway for 5 minutes. So I'm literally waiting. So I'm like, he gonna have to open up this door because he can't leave whoever he talking to out there. Like, something's gonna have to give. So I end up knocking on the door and kicking on the door. Like, I'm literally doing this right in front of her, like knocking on the door or whatever. So the door ended up opening up, but he cracked it, y'all, enough just for she getting in. But for some reason, y'all, for some freaking reason, my hands is like this, literally. And I swung. Like, if she would have got hit, she would have got hit because, bitch, you're in the fucking way. Like, you're in the way. So my hands literally went like this, and I swung, and I missed him. Like, y'all, it was just so crazy how she was, like, really determined to get inside the house. She wasn't questioning me or nothing, y'all. It was just so freaking weird. So I ended up stopped talking to him for, like, a couple of months or whatever because I felt like I was being, like, really disrespected. Like, dude, like, why are you disrespecting me like this? It's like, even though we wasn't together, like, you could just been 100. Like, just be 100 about the situation. Like, oh, I got shorty over or whatever. Then I wouldn't know my place. I wouldn't know my role, okay? But I don't know my role if you don't tell me. Like, and I also feel like when we wasn't together anymore, it was just still, like, stuff going on what, like, I deal with when I was dealing with him. Like, it was stuff that was still going on. Like, I thought when we was friends, like, Like, I literally thought, like, when we was friends, I didn't have to, like, deal with the lies anymore. But since being friends with him, it's like, it's still going to be a lie because he's a liar. So at this point, I'm blue or whatever. I stopped talking for a couple of months. Then my dumb ass took him back, y'all. 3-4 months later, I think he reached out to me. 3-4 months later. So I'm like, okay, I'm just about to talk to him or because this is going to be the last strike for me or whatever. I'm like, if he put me in another situation where I have to beat him up and another female up, like, I'm just finna leave it alone because that's it for me. Who you think you are? Like, you're not finna treat me like this. So I end up taking him back or whatever, back talking to him, and he asked me to link up with him. He like, yeah, you want to link over to my house? This now. I said, okay, cool. We end up linking up, and we end up talking about the situation too. Like, I also brought up her, and he was like, oh, I knew her from time to time. She don't stay in Chicago, so he said, why are you tripping? This and that, and like, y'all know how guys be talking or whatever. Whole time they still dealing with the female. Like, that's just how it is with dudes. Like, so I'm like, okay, whatever. Because I did miss our friendship too. Like, we had like a strong friendship too. So I low-key did miss that as well. So I ended up coming over his house. I ended up spending the night, y'all. And this is the crazy part right here when I spent the night. So I'm over here sleep and I get woken up to a freaking key in the door. So I'm like, who the heck is this now? Y'all, he did have a roommate, but he barely was there. Like, he was probably there like 3 times out of the year. He was a truck driver, so he barely was at home with him. So I'm like, who could this be or whatever? So I'm literally sleep laying down in the bed or whatever. Well, trying to go back to sleep. So I end up, y'all know how y'all feel like the person, like, energy before they come around the corner or like approach you, like you just feel it. So I felt it and I ended up sitting up and it was the same girl, y'all. The same freaking girl. So she like, who are you? You're not supposed to be here. This and that. I said, who are you? You're not supposed to be here. Like, what? So I literally had to calm down. I said, okay, let me calm down or whatever. So the girl was pacing back and forth, y'all. She was pacing back and forth or whatever. So she like, who are you? I'm saying I'm his friend or whatever. Like, we've been dating for like a couple of months. She's like, a couple of months. She's like, I've been dating him for like 6-7 months. I said, what? I said, so the whole time you was in a relationship with him? She was like, yeah, I was in a relationship with the whole time. I said, what? Y'all, when I tell y'all I was fucking shook. I was fucking shook. I'm just like, so the whole time when he was trying to take me back, talking to me, y'all know how niggas be talking. Now, one time did you tell me you was in a relationship? So that, y'all, that really pissed me off. So now it's like, you still putting me in situations where, number one, I almost have to beat your ass and I almost have to beat her ass. So I'm like, you know what? I'm done with the situation because, like, obviously you have no respect for me and you definitely don't have no respect for her. So I'm just about to just head on out of here. Like, that's what I'm about to do. So I'm really, because I did pack me like a little overnight bag when I went to see him. So I'm really packing up the little clothes that I have or whatever, y'all. I literally see something black go past me and hit his freaking body mirror. He had like a body mirror. Girl, that shit, when I tell y'all that shit shattered before my fucking eyes, that fucking body mirror shattered. So I'm like, oh my God, like, oh my God. So she literally like throwing a freaking fit. So I'm like, okay, let me text him and let him know what's going on, how I'm feeling or whatever. So I'm just sending him a long paragraph or whatever. Now one time, like, I did question him, like, is that your girlfriend or whatever? Like, he did not answer that, like, in a long ass paragraph. Y'all know how it is when y'all be texting dudes on the freaking long paragraphs or whatever. Just about how you feel or whatever. And they usually just answer about 3-4 questions out of the freaking paragraph. That's what he did to me or whatever. I told him, like, why did you give her the key? He's like, oh, I just gave her the key. Like, he wasn't trying to say, like, that's my girlfriend, so that's why I gave her the key. Like, he was like, oh, I just gave her the key or whatever. Like, he was not trying to acknowledge, like, that was his girl. Like, what? So, and I also told him, like, yeah, she fucking up your shit, this and that. Like, I have to let him know, y'all, because this man is a freaking psycho. Like, whatever you do to him, he's going to do to you back, like, on some crazy shit. Literally on some crazy shit. So I had to let him know that wasn't me breaking your stuff. So, and I noticed, like, she was trying to kill his fishes. So I'm like, girl, that's when I stopped. I said, girl, you gonna have to stop because you can't do nothing to them fishes. Like, them fishes ain't did nothing to you, girl. Like, and y'all know I'm an animal. Well, if y'all don't know, I am an animal lover, so I don't play that. So she ended up going to the refrigerator, putting foods in bags. So I guess she ended up like buying him food or whatever, y'all. She even freaking bought him like jewelry and stuff. She was taking all that shit back or whatever, y'all. Like, it was insane. Like, it was a madhouse. Like, so I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck? So I ended up packing all my things and I ended up leaving, y'all. Like, I was done with that situation. When I tell y'all I wiped my hands with it, I was freaking done with the situation because it's like, I'm not gonna be constantly played with, like, for real. And he was like literally the only ex that I literally like went back to. Like, I just didn't, even though I haven't like really experienced it like as strongly as I did then with taking him back or whatever. Like, I just never took anybody back because of this situation. Like, the situation that I was in then, that was the prime reason why I just never took anybody back. Like, I'm like, heck no. And I just left it from there. Like, I was just done with the situation. Like, he had to go. And then come to find out they were still in a relationship after that. And I'm just like, you guys are freaking sick and fucking delusional. Like, for real. Like, okay. But anyway, that's it for my video, y'all. If y'all want to hear more of my freaking story times, y'all better run these freaking numbers up, okay? Because I will be posting for you guys, okay? Yeah, I'm lit. But I'll see you guys on my next video, okay? Bye.